In-depth analysis and review is a core component from the skill training portion and takes place immediately after listening skill. This component is broken down into two parts, passage coverage and answer justification. And this video will focus on passage coverage. During this component, students review the in-class quiz passage, which helps in understanding the core information regarding the topic. To prepare for this component, you will need the workbook, script, MP3 file, and the answer key or class guide. To teach or simulate this component, you will need the workbook and the MP3 file. This component will be simulated during training.
Okay guys, good job on your quiz. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and review the passage and put up a set of model notes on the board. Okay, so let's go ahead and listen.
Do you know what a chimera is?
What is the first verbal cue we hear, Sharon?
A question.
Very good. What is this question?
Do you know what a chimera is?
Good. So when we hear a question, what will we usually hear next, Megan?
The answer.
Okay, good. So let's go ahead and listen for the answer to this question.
A chimera refers to a mythical Greek beast that has the head of a lion, the body of a goat, and the tail of a snake.
So what does a chimera refer to, Megan?
A mythical Greek beast.
Okay, let's go ahead and continue listening.
That is why biologists use the word to refer to human-animal mixes, or hybrids. Now, you may be thinking of a fictional monster from a sci-fi movie, such as a werewolf.
So the speaker, what does he say we might be thinking of, Sharon?
A fictional monster.
Good.
But
What's the verbal cue we heard, Megan?
But.
Very good. And what type of verbal cue is but?
Contrast.
Excellent job. So what should we listen for next?
Something different than a fictional monster.
Good. So let's go ahead and listen for what is different.
real chimera is an animal whose body contains cells from another animal, not a monster.
Okay. And what did the speaker say was different, Sharon?
A real chimera is an animal whose body contains cells from another animal.
Very good. Okay, let's go ahead and continue listening.
Scientists create these chimeras by mixing human cells with the cells of animal embryos. Well, as you can imagine, this causes a lot of controversy. Today, we're going to look at
Okay. What was the verbal cue we heard, Sharon?
Today we're going to look at
Very good. So, what are we going to listen for next, Megan?
the thesis.
Okay, excellent job. So go ahead and listen for the thesis.
both sides of the issue, and you can decide for yourself if you think research into chimeras is a positive thing or not.
So what is the thesis, Megan?
Both sides of the issue.
Very good. But more importantly, why is this the thesis?
It helps us explain both sides of what the passage is about.
Okay, good. So, what do you think our main ideas are going to be about, Sharon?
The two different sides.
Okay, good. And what do you think our pattern of organization is going to be?
Comparison and contrast.
And why do you say that? What keyword helped you find that?
Both sides.
Very good. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on.
Okay, let's begin by looking at what
Okay, what was the verbal cue that we just heard, Megan?
Let's begin by looking at.
Good. So, what are we going to hear next, Megan?
The first main idea.
Excellent job. Let's go ahead and listen for the first main idea.
why some people might support this research.
Okay. And what is the first main idea, Sharon?
Why some people might support this research.
Good. Okay. Why is this the main idea?
Because it shows one side of the issue.
Very good. So, what are our major details are going to be about, Megan?
Why they support the issue.
Okay, good. So let's listen for the first major detail.
Professor Weissman of Stanford University believes that chimeras could help find the cures for human diseases such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
Sharon, what is our first major detail?
Help find the cures for human diseases.
Good. And why is this our first major detail?
Because it shows why he supports the issue.
Excellent job. Okay, let's continue listening.
In his experiments,
Okay. What was the verb cue we just heard, Megan?
In his experiment.
Good. So, what do you think that we are going to listen for next?
An example of his experiment.
Good. So let's go ahead and listen for what he did in his experiments.